Ask 10 people what Memorial Day is about, and you'll probably receive 10 different responses. Mentioned are claims of recognizing those who have served and fallen in defense of their service to their country, identifying the patriots who unselfishly answered the call, and acknowledging the heroes of battle. A common theme encountered in the discussion is remembrance. But what else should be remembered? Are there not other aspects of war that need remembering? Remember the architects of perpetual conflict, the schemers and tacticians who design the strategy, chart the acts of aggression, and lay the blueprints for others' destruction. Remember the plague of nationhood that infects the innate free spirit of men, disrupts a natural order of peaceful exchange, and fuels the slavish obedience to political orders, regardless their legality or morality. Remember the irresponsible who jump at the opportunity for conflict, forgetting reason, composure, and diplomacy. Remember how they delegate to others the duty to lead the engagement. Remember the propagandameisters who flood the airways with poisonous lies to reassure a wary, skeptical public, all carefully calculated to stultify the truth of war's consequences. Remember the masters of war who profit from this heinous spectacle, those who gain power and tarnished wealth. Watch them flaunt their booty paid for with the bloody currency of children, not their own. Remember those who consider it essential that defense of a state's borders requires committing preemptive acts of aggression against people on the other side of the globe. Remember the cheerleaders who urge on their warriors with shouts of jingoistic fervor, yet refuse or find it unnecessary to give up their comfort of stateside security. Remember those who have witnessed firsthand the horror of battle and tasted the acrid flavor of war's experience. Remember those who discovered an epiphany, a life-changing understanding that war is not the glorious adventure of Hollywood imagery, not the youthful pastime of an entertaining video game. Remember those of this group who then failed to warn others of this newfound knowledge, who failed to convince compatriots of the needless sacrifice and stolen innocence. Remember those on the sidelines who do not obey their conscience to speak out against the carnage, who hold their tongues through shyness or cowardice, who stand by silent as family, friends, and neighbors are whisked off to their inevitable doom. Remember the children who witness war and its atrocities. Remember the confusion within young minds told killing is wrong, then struggle to comprehend the exception of war. Remember their bewilderment when told to accept the killing of strangers that have done them no harm. Remember the irreconcilable conflict within the hearts of Christians whose testament instruct, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you, and if someone strikes you on one cheek, turn to him the other also. Remember their befuddlement when finding serving their state requires disregarding these principles. Remember the ideological clash when told serving their country preempts faithfulness to their God. Remember the broken bodies and shattered psyches still with us to remind us of war's human cost. Remember the lost potential, the dashed dreams, the oceans of shed tears, the newly discovered war against desperation and hopelessness. Yes, remember the fallen, the dead. Visit their resting places with solemn respect. Make note of their obscenely abundant and escalating numbers. Remember that each grave has a face, a story, a soul represented by that slab of coldly etched stone or weathered cross. Then remember the graves throughout the world without adornment of a marker, a name, an individual sentenced to a burial of eternal anonymity. Don't the numbers now grow exponentially? Some were enemies, some were allies. Remember, they also once walked the earth as those you honor. Remember, they also aspire to a life of peaceful contentment, though driven by a different philosophy or creed as a means to obtain it. Remember how when living, all sides were compelled by opposing views of righteousness, but now all are colleagues in death. Do not only grieve for their loss, but remember the lies and liars that killed them.